Hey everybody, how are you all doing? Hopefully you've either gearing up to have a good Christmas, or if you're watching this afterwards, you've had a good Christmas. Something a little bit different here. I thought I'd do a wrap up of all the celebrities that I've met over the course of 2019. Give you a bit of information, where I met them, what they were like, that kind of thing. So let's crack straight on. Hope you enjoy this slightly different video. Okay, so first up, my first meeting of 2019 was around about the 3rd of January. I went to a day shopping in Bath and bumped into this chap. Now, I don't know how many people will recognise him. If you're a fan of Glastonbury, if you've ever been to Glastonbury, you might recognise this man. It's Michael Eavis. Michael is the person who created Glastonbury, essentially, back in the 70s, I think it was. He owns the farm that Glastonbury is run on. He's a really nice chap. He was quite happy to stop and take a photo. I don't think anyone else recognised him as we were just walking through the streets. So that was a really nice way to start off 2019, meeting the awesome Michael Eavis. Next up is Lisa Riley, British actress, probably best known as one of the Dingles in Emmerdale, and also for voicing You've Been Framed, and for things like Fat Friends, that kind of stuff. She was in Panto in a local theatre, so managed to grab her just at the start of the day before she was about to go into theatre, and she was quite happy to stop and pose for a photo. So that was the lovely Lisa Riley. Next up, we have Christopher Eccleston. Now, I've already met Christopher Eccleston before this photo was taken, but he was doing either or, so it was either an autograph or a photograph. So on that occasion, I got an autograph from him because, I mean, as you probably all know, he's charging ridiculous amounts in the Comic-Cons at the moment. And then I happened to be in London while he was in theatre, so popped along and managed to catch him and grab a snap with him before his play in his theatre in London, which was really cool. Next up, we've got David Rudolph. I doubt many people will recognise this chap. If you've ever seen the absolutely superb crime documentary, The Staircase, on Netflix, The Staircase, absolutely brilliant, superb documentary. And this chap, David Rudolph, was the attorney on the series, and I went to a Q&A with him, talking about all his theories behind this series. And I won't give you any spoilers about it, but well worth watching if you haven't seen it. And at the end of the Q&A, he was quite happy to pose for some photos, so of course I had to grab one. Next up, we got Martin Clunes. I'm a member of BAFTA Cymru, which is really lucky because it affords me the opportunity to go to lots of events where screenings take place, and people, celebrities or sort of industry creatives who are involved in them are very often there. So this was a screening of a crime drama that Martin had done, and he was happy to sort of meet and post photos afterwards. So that was really cool to meet up with Martin Clunes. Next up is Shauna MacDonald. This is from Cardiff Film and Comic-Con that I went to. Dying in Death, to be honest, as a Comic-Con. I doubt it'll be on again after this year just gone, which is a real shame. But I had to meet Shauna MacDonald. I love Shauna in sort of a huge range of stuff. She's kind of done lots of horror films, and she also had a sort of fairly small part in Star Wars The Last Jedi as well, so I had to grab an autograph from her and get a picture. And while I was there, I also added a new face to my sort of meetings with Doctor Who stars, and this is Sarah Sutton, who played Nyssa in the kind of Peter Davison period, predominantly Peter Davison period of Doctor Who. I'd never met her before, although I had an autograph from her previously. I'd never met her before. So yeah, really pleased to add Sarah to my collection. Next up is Jessica Hines. Again, this was a BAFTA Cymru event. She written, directed, and starred in a film, The Fight, which was a good film, and she was doing a preview screening for it in BAFTA Cymru, so went along to watch the film and then managed to grab a photo with her and an autograph as well, which is really cool. She signed my spaced DVD, and you'll see that on my blog if you happen to go along and have a look. Jessica was lovely. Really pleased to have met with her. Next up was the amazing Michael Sheen. Did not expect to meet Michael, I'll be totally honest with you. I went to an event with an incredible chap who I'll show you the photo I had with him in a moment, and hoped to try and catch him at the end for a photograph. And while I was waiting for him, Michael Sheen came out. He'd been there, and he'd been and watched the show and then gone and had a drink with the chap afterwards. So I managed to nab Michael and grab a photo with him, and that was a massively unexpected thing, but really pleased to meet Michael Sheen. But the person I actually went to watch the show and to meet afterwards was the awesome Sir Ian McKellen. Bless him, he's looking a little bit knackered here. I'm not surprised. He did sort of 2.5 hours on stage, I think this was him coming out at about 11:30, quarter to midnight. But yeah, really, really pleased to meet the incredible Ian McKellen, and I've already got loads of stuff signed by him anyway. But managed to get a couple of photos with him, so that was really, really cool. Next up is Mark Lewis-Jones. This was at a BAFTA Cymru event for Keeping Faith. It was the premiere screening of the first episode of Series 2 of Keeping Faith. So I managed to meet Mark. He obviously is in Keeping Faith, but he's in things like Stella, if you've ever seen that with Ruth Jones, which is brilliant. He also plays Captain Kennedy in Star Wars: Last Jedi, and he's in Game of Thrones as a character called Shagger, I think it is. I've already met Mark before, but that was really cool to meet up with him and grab a snap. And I also managed to meet Bradley Freegard, who is the other kind of main actor in Keeping Faith. He plays Faith's husband, and he's also married to the actress who plays Faith in Keeping Faith. And this is the person I really wanted to meet, to be perfectly honest, and that was Eve Miles. Now, I've met Eve before at a Comic-Con event, but I wanted to meet her at this event, and she's lovely. As you can see, there's lots in those photos, lots of people wearing yellow, and they were asked to do so because that's the colour she wears in the first series of Keeping Faith. Absolutely lovely, and I love this pic. She's so nice. She was being sort of, bombarded by people asking for photos and stuff, but she was quite happy to just pop and pose for a picture. Absolutely lovely lady. And while I was there, just randomly bumped into Carol Vorderman, as you do. Never met Carol before. She was actually there to give a brief speech because she's a super fan apparently of Keeping Faith. So after the screening, I just nabbed her and asked if I could grab a picture with her, and she was happy for me to do so. So yeah, slightly unexpected, but meeting Carol Vorderman. Next up, this was at the Celebrity Cup Golf. I tend to go every year. I didn't really meet anybody. I got lots of autographs this time around. Last year I did lots of photos. This year I did lots of autographs. But I specifically went to meet this chap, and it's Wes Brown, who used to play for Manchester United. Never met him before. As soon as I heard he was announced at this event, I snapped up a ticket straight away and went along. It was a beautiful day, as you can see anyway, and really, really cool to meet the awesome Wes Brown. The only other photo I got was with Keith Duffy. Most of the other celebrities that are there I've already met and had photos with, but I've never met Keith before. I'd met Ronan Keating the year before that. Keith's obviously from Boyzone, so just nabbed him quickly and grabbed a photo just because he was one of the celebrities I'd not met previously. So yeah, that was Wes Brown and Keith Duffy at that event. Next up was London Film and Comic Con, and this lady is Francesca Chiardi, I think is how you pronounce her name. She is she is the main actress from the gruesome horror film Cannibal Holocaust, which I just happen to absolutely love. And as she was announced, I had no choice. I had to go along. I had an autograph from her previously that I got through the mail, but I had to go and get a signed picture and have a photo taken with her as well. And while I was there, got a picture with Ruggero Deodato, who is the director of the same film, Cannibal Holocaust. An absolute honour to meet him. I don't think he's ever done any Comic-Cons before in the UK that I'm aware of, so it was a real coup for London Film and Comic Con to get him. So I was really pleased to grab a snap. But the person I really, really wanted at London Film and Comic Con was the incredible Christina Ricci. I've been a massive fan of Christina's for years and years, probably since the Addams Family. You can see I've got her on my t-shirt there. So there was no choice. I had to go along to this London Film and Comic Con. I haven't been for a couple of years, but I went pretty much just to meet Christina, and she was lovely. A little bit shy, but she was lovely, and so pleased to get a picture with her. Next up, a little bit blurry, unfortunately, but it's the awesome Rhys Ifans. This was another BAFTA Cymru event. It was just a sort of an evening, a Q&A with Rhys Ifans at the Welsh Senedd. Really nice chap. The stories he told were brilliant. The whole thing was in Welsh, so I had to have it translated because my Welsh isn't great, to my shame. But it was really cool to meet him. But he was really rushed, so I managed to. He was basically trying to get out the door as soon as the thing had finished, but I managed to nab him and grab a selfie. As I say, it's a bit blurry, but you can see that's Rhys Ifans, so that was really cool. Obviously from Notting Hill and Twin Town, which is one of my all-time favourite films. Next up, this was at the BAFTA Cymru Awards. This is Gwyneth Keyworth, probably best known to me from Game of Thrones, Misfits, lots of Welsh language stuff. She's lovely as well. She's a really pretty lady, and yeah, really, really cool. Pleased to meet her. That was the first person I met at the BAFTA Cymru Awards. Next was Jo Hartley. I think people probably recognise her for This Is England, or the This Is England series. She was in Eddie the Eagle, The Mimic, which is a comedy series, like a one-series comedy series that was quite funny, so I liked her in that. So I had to stop her for a picture. Next up, Russell T Davies, the saviour of Doctor Who, obviously previous showrunner. He's gone on to do loads of other stuff, and he's written loads and loads of other stuff. But obviously, probably best known as showrunner from the sort of Christopher Eccleston series on in Doctor Who. I also met Ruth Jones. Again, I've met Ruth several times, but Ruth was there. It was starting to get dark at this point. My camera's giving out on me, so the picture's a little bit grainy, sadly. But it was great to meet Ruth. I've met her several times. I've also been in a couple of her shows. Stella, I've been in sort of pretty much every series of Stella as an extra. So it was nice to meet Ruth again. Next up, this particularly blurry one, because I fucked this picture up, unfortunately. I pressed the wrong button when I took it. But as you can probably work out, it's Mandip Gill, who plays Yasmin Khan in the newest series of Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker. I'd never met her before. I'd met Bradley Walsh a few times, but I'd never met Yasmin. So it was really cool to meet her and get a photo from her and get a couple of autographs as well. And to be perfectly honest, the person I went for, Anthony Daniels was there, and I managed to get an autograph from him, C-3PO in Star Wars, but I didn't get a photo with him. But the person I really, really wanted to get, and I was so pleased to, was this lady, obviously Jodie Whittaker, who is the current Doctor in Doctor Who. The newest episode's out on New Year's Day, I think, which I can't wait for. But I was absolutely thrilled to bits to finally meet Jodie. I've only got to meet David and Matt Smith left, and I've met all the current living Doctors then, except John Hurt, sadly. But apart from John Hurt as well, I've met all the current living Doctors, got photos with them all, so it was really cool to meet Jodie. Next up is Daphne Keane. Daphne's probably best known as the sort of the girl in Logan, the sort of Wolverine movie Logan. She plays the other sort of Wolverine child. I can't remember the name of her character now, for my shame. But she's also in His Dark Materials, that's currently on BBC as well. Met her at a screening of the first episode of His Dark Materials, and that was really cool, and got a chance to meet her and get an autograph from her. And also bumped into Ruta Gudimentis, who is she's in His Dark Materials at the moment, but she's been in things like The Strain, the sort of horror series The Strain, and loads of other stuff. Look her up, Ruta Gudimentis is her name. She was lovely, really happy to grab a snap, and she was a lovely lady. In fact, as you can see, she was pretty much as tall as me. So, which is quite rare as someone who's nearly 6'5". Quite rare to meet someone who's almost as tall as you. But she was lovely, so I met her and Daphne at the same event. Next up, and nearly there now, Griff Rhys-Jones. This was a random one. I was just walking for lunch on my lunch break in work. Popped into town to go and buy a sandwich, and bumped into Griff Rhys-Jones. He was actually in a show, The Grinch, I think it was, recently, and he popped into Waterston's to buy a book and was heading back to the show. So I just stopped him and asked him if he'd mind grabbing a picture, and he was quite happy to, which was really cool. So really, really pleased and privileged, I think, to meet this British comedy legend, Griff Rhys-Jones. And finally, last one, somebody probably most people won't recognise, a lady by the name of Wendy Froud. And she is best known for creating Yoda in Star Wars. So she actually created the original figure of Yoda that they based then the puppets of Yoda on going forward into the film, into Empire Strikes Back. And she also helped Frank Oz helped control the Yoda puppet as well. But she's been involved in things like Labyrinth, or is it Dark Crystal? Sorry, the Dark Crystal, I think it is, or maybe both actually. She worked as a puppeteer for Jim Henson on the Muppets. So yeah, she's a lifelong puppeteer. So it was really cool, and I had to meet her and get something signed from her of Yoda. And that's it. Those are all the celebs I've met this year. So I'd love to hear what you think. Is there anybody I've met that you really want to meet, or anybody I've met that you've met loads of times? And what was your, how did you find the celebrities that I've met? Hope you enjoyed the video. That's it. I will do a wrap up of December at the beginning of January at some point. I didn't really get much in terms of returns of autographs over December, so it'll be a pretty quick video. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas. If you've had it already, if you're watching this after Christmas, then I hope you enjoyed it and it was superb. All my very best wishes to you. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of YouTubery stuff. Have a fantastic end to 2019, and most likely I will speak to you again in 2020. All the very best, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.